1. The Thief, by Greg Hurwitz. Tommy is a fat teenager in Mrs. Connolly's special class at school. His mother is disappointed that he's in the habit of stealing things. His mother finds life hard at times and misses adult company. One day while she's out, a man comes to the door. Tommy's not supposed to answer when he's alone, but he does anyway. 2. Wish You Were Here, by Frank Jones. Dorothy buys a gnome for her garden. She's happy with it and picks the perfect spot. One morning she finds it's been knocked over. A few days later it happens again. Dorothy decides to do something about it. She suspects it's the Allen boys. She heads for their place. 3. Witness for the Prosecution, by Agatha Christie. Mr. Mahern, a lawyer, meets with his client, Leonard Vole, who is accused of murdering an old woman. The case against Vole is strong, but Mr. Mahern believes he could be innocent. He starts gathering the facts of Vole's relationship with the elderly lady, Miss Emily French, who was rich and eccentric. The troubling details continue to pile up. 4. Last Supper, by Rip Gerber. Chris and Mary are cooking together. Mary realizes she forgot the mushrooms. She goes out to get some. Mary happens to be at the grocery when a robbery is taking place. She becomes an accidental casualty. Years later, Chris is using religion and cooking to cope. 5. On the Train, by Rebecca Cantrell. Joachim is in a train with other prisoners. He has a yellow triangle on his jacket. A man with a pink triangle, Herman, says he knows Joachim and starts talking to him. Joachim claims not to know the man. Herman starts talking about escaping. 6. Children's Day, by Kelly Stanley. It's Children's Day at a large exposition. Miranda, a private eye, notices a clown pulling a little girl along. She follows but loses them in the crowd. She gets the full story from the mother. 7. Guy Walks Into a Bar, by Lee Child. While at a bar, Jack Reacher notices a young blonde woman who seems to be in love with the band's guitar player. She has a pile of money on her table that she's using to buy wine and give big tips. Reacher also notices 2 tall Russians watching the girl. They look like they're preparing for action. 8. The Paperhanger, by William Gay. The doctor's wife's child vanished in broad daylight. It started with the wife arguing with the paperhanger. After calling him a name, she stormed out of the room. She went to her car and called her little daughter. There was no answer. 9. Night Drive, by Will F. Jenkins. Madge is just walking out the door to drive to Colchester when her phone rings. It's Mr. Tabor asking if his niece Eunice could ride with her. The mention of the Colchester Road makes her uncomfortable because of its tragic link to Mr. Tabor. She agrees to help. She finds the drive, and Eunice, to be unsettling. 10. The Most Dangerous Game, by Richard Connell. The crew of a ship talk about hunting in a nearby island with a bad reputation. After they turn in for the night, one of the men, Rainsford, hears 3 shots fired in the distance. While checking it out, he falls overboard.